Hey dude, hope your week's been awesome. Mine's definitely been pretty good. It sure didn't start out that way though. Let me tell you all about it. So my week started on Monday, as they usually do. So Monday comes around, I make a horrible mistake. I take all of the money that I have saved up from bottles and such, and bring it into the bank and tell them to pay off my credit card completely. I'm super jazzed about this. And then, feeling good, come home, look at my bank balance, and swear a little bit and die a little inside. So I spent all my rent money just a couple days before rent was due, and that's why that's more than anything the reason why I decided to bring in all the DVDs and the CDs and the books. And I was super bummed that they weren't worth as much as they used to be. I was working really hard to make as much as I could with bottles, but I was gonna need a little bit more. And I ended up coming home with $16 from books, $5 from DVDs, and $8 from CDs. Everything worked out. The fact that I'd forgotten that I'd loaned David $100 and then he came through and returned that really helped. Basically the whole thing worked out great. And then I guess I was just carrying that momentum for some reason or another. I set a new record for the week for bottles, so that was pretty fun. And I didn't do it on my own. I mean, it was mostly on my own, but Alex and I went out on another tour on Tuesday, and that was just great.
Yep. I tell you, man, the weather sucks, but that ain't bad. Not bad. Bus is stuck. Going around.
Hey, there's the next one already.
Hey, it's lunchtime. Alex knows lots of great spots. For example, here's a church that'll hook you up with a free lunch.
Well, no fish today, yeah?
Oh, that looks all right. What are these? No, I got fish. Is that what you mean? Sardines?
Yeah, you got fish. I get ham pate. Christ.
I'm not sure I want to trade.
No, I know.
No, that looks all right. We got a juice box.
Supposed to be rock hard candy,
Raisins.
right?
What do you got? Oh yeah, no, those are supposed to be soft.
Take a
Oh,
good
you
one.
got chocolate and you got like
Yeah.
that bag of crackers looks all right. Yeah, yours is totally different.
Yeah, I know.
I got what do I have here? Oh, a quinoa bar. And there's a pudding, and yeah, not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
Man, just look at that whiteout. Quite the day. Win.
We were both really happy with how they went. I've been kind of garbage at filming everything that happened this week, so although this is a slightly less visually interesting way to do it, I figured I would just take this time to run through the week's happenings, because it was quite the week. Most of this actually looks pretty good. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I expanded my range, the neighborhoods that I picked in, and it worked out really good. So I essentially gave myself a raise as long as I can get up early, and I did a pretty good job of that. Didn't sleep in too much, except for last night, because it's Durant's birthday today, so we went to see the midnight screening of Venom. And basically, I mostly focused on making as much money as possible this week with bottles, and absolutely crushed it. I'm really proud of myself and feel a lot better about my ridiculous mistake earlier on. I have so much to be grateful for. And I also found a bunch of great stuff, which I will show you because I've been looking forward to it. It's like, it was a good week for finding stuff, even though I wasn't trying to. Just blessed, including this. So this is just a brass chest. I need to reattach the lid on the hinges, but it's got a fair amount of corrosion going on. I mean, I guess it's a little difficult now that it's covered in tomato sauce. And that's basically my fix, because I don't want to work super... Hold on, focus. I don't want to work super hard on this thing because... I mean, they can be worth a fair bit, but I don't expect this one to be. And if I can't fix it up half decently, then it's just going to be a small piece of scrap brass. Which would be fine too, but it would be kind of a shame. So, you're probably familiar with this trick. Some people use ketchup, but I find the tomato sauce to be a lot more effective. This is a copper bottom pot. Lots of stuff going on. If we just spread some tomato sauce or ketchup, whatever you prefer, and then we leave it for a bit, it'll come out shiny and clean. Now, while we leave that to work its tomatoey magic, I'll show you the other stuff that we found this week. This is a powered subwoofer, which we tested.
Yeah, man. Works.
So it's actually pretty cool with the different plugins. You can plug in just wires or RCA, and that makes it a little more useful depending on your application. And then this Reptile Aquarium. It's actually got a little green carpet that goes in the bottom, but that's getting washed right now. I'm not sure what I can sell this for, but it's a decent size. It's not in the greatest condition, but it'll do the thing. And like normally they're about $100, right? So somebody will be happy to save a pretty penny by buying this one. Other finds of the week. Buttons and doodads over here. Got power and audio input. They're actually pretty fluffy, pretty comfy. Yeah. Bluetooth headset. Headphones, not a headset. Headphones. Don't know what they're worth, but they work perfectly fine. Found two of these. These are CO2 canisters for paintball. I'm not sure if anyone's going to buy them because I think they have to have a recent date. But even if I can't sell them, a chunk of brass and a chunk of aluminum. Then I found this, an N64. It didn't come with the AC cord, but it came with the power brick, and that's kind of the pain in the butt one, because these things are... A lot of Nintendo things use those. They're everywhere. And the coolest part, it came with the RAM expander. So, yeah, I think that's... I was pretty stoked. And then there was also this little Sony DVD player. And swiveling thingy. It's got the battery pack. It even came with all the cords and the remote. I tested it, works great. The sound is kind of crap, but eh. And then the other thing I found, yeah, this little background guy. It's not like battle ready. Somebody made it. It's not very strong, as you can tell by the way some of the spikes have, you know. It's kind of cool. It's a little big for me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll probably just give it to my cousin Brandon. 'Cause it's not... I mean, it's pretty heavy, but it seems like it would be kind of wasteful to scrap that when somebody could enjoy it. Besides, these spikes are actually pretty sweet. And then, other than that, I found a phone. Which I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. It's a Lumia, it's, you know, one of these ones. Yeah. It's about as good as an iPhone 6S, I think, is what I've read. And then I went to get my winter tire. Oh yeah! I don't know if you heard, but Calgary had a record snowfall for October.
So this is our, yeah, see this table? 16 inches. Jeezless.
On October 2nd.
The 2nd of October, 2018. Yeah!
Yeah, that is the biggest snowfall Calgary has ever had in October in recorded history. So like ever. So I guess climate shift is real after all. Nothing stays the same forever, does it? So I went to have my winter tires mounted, and while I was there, they had a set of 4 rims that they were just thrown out. So I was like, I'd take those. So I got some scrap metal this week, and oh, I made this. This here's a little device I put together for camera down work. You put the camera here on that, and it just kind of faces down, and then the screen is sitting here, and then you get a nice view of whatever's going on the table. And yeah, those are LED lights that I got out of, they were for aquariums, so I just took the light modules and kind of simplified them and stuck them on there. Works pretty good. I got the idea from Casey Neistat, actually. It's kind of a miniature version of the desk that he built. This was just like a desktop mini version. Now let's see how this is coming along. So let's try with a dish scrubby first. Yeah, that definitely helps. What about with the... You know, for some reason I remember this being a lot easier last time I tried it. Doesn't matter. Let's see some results. Hey. I missed a few spots, but overall, it looks pretty good to me. Anyway, now I'm not super confident in doing it on this because that was steel wool and I didn't want to scratch the heck out of this, but let's see how it works. Short answer, it's working. I'll pound through this and show you guys the results. Okay, so upon closer inspection, it's actually worse than I thought. Worse and stranger. See, it's got some green patina in spots, mostly in this area, which isn't that bad. It's not unappealing when you're talking about vintage stuff. But it's got some pretty heavy pitting in spots where the lacquers come away and it started to oxidize. But that's actually a pretty easy fix. You can't really see all the scratches that I made. Anyway, these pits can just be taken off with steel wool. That's what makes brass cool, is because it's it's a solid material all the way through. So you can just sand it and polish it if you want it to look beautiful. But I guess the previous owner didn't know that, because this area, as I go down, I find... Hey, that's strange. What's this? Huh. Look at that. They tried their hand at fixing it a little bit. And by fixing, I mean they painted over it with gold acrylic paint when it got too ugly in a spot. Which is weird because simple sanding makes that look real nice. See that? That's the part they painted over. Shiny and new. So for me, that's more work than it's worth. I looked it up, and people will tell you these things sell for $200 if they're in good condition. But this isn't... Nobody's gonna buy this from me for $200. Yeah, don't kid yourself. This is a lot of work. But it's also between $5 and $10 worth of scrap brass. So that's what I'm gonna do. And don't be too upset. Maybe you would put the effort in. But I've got a lot of projects as it is. So the only other thing that happened this week is I found out that my best friend in high school has died. Yeah, we were the same age, same grade. He was my rival. He was the person that I could, like, in video games. I never did manage to beat him at 007 or Smash Brothers or Soul Calibur 2. I still have so many memories of that guy, though. I had to work after school, so I always missed Dragon Ball Z, but he recorded it for me, and he recorded all of the, like, storyline parts and the cool fight scenes, but, like, he skipped all the fluff episodes, so, like, it was like a compressed version. I don't know. He was the funny guy in the group, too. Like, there was a squad of, like, 4, and it was a really small school, so it's not like, there were big separated groups. Everybody knew everybody, but that was us. And he had, like, really loose skin, so he could, like, stretch out his cheek, like, huge, and, like, flick a penny off of it, and it would go flying. It's the dumbest jokes, too. Definitely lit up a room. It just seems so crazy. I don't really know how to feel right now. And the weird part is I guess I don't really feel anything. Which I think is pretty normal, given that we didn't really talk for the past 10 years. We lived together, and then we graduated, then we lived together for a year, and then we didn't have a falling out. We just kind of grew apart. And we're different people at that point. I didn't know at any point that he was diagnosed with cancer, some kind of, like, brainstem cancer or something, and I guess he just didn't tell people because he didn't want them to treat him any differently, which is a shame, because I would have treated him differently, as in I would have made more of an effort to see him, but I guess maybe the relationship would have been a little... We didn't have a relationship at this point, so don't go fill in the comments box with thoughts and prayers and sorry for your loss and all that sort of stuff, because it's just, I mean, for me, it's just kind of a wake-up call. I guess we just don't have as much time as we think we do sometimes. So I don't think there's anything wrong with wasting your life. Time really does go by pretty quick, so we should just make sure we're doing things that we enjoy, things that make us happy. And if you're spending a lot of time doing something that's not making you happy, then you should stop. I'll have a new video when I feel like making one. Leave it better than you found it. Keep doing the thing.
Why'd you have to go? Guess I'll never know. Look up and just onto the night. It's changing my mind. It's a beautiful